So let's throw this to the audience, okay? And I want you to go first, and then I'll go next, okay?
Okay.
What are 3 red flags that the second you hear them, see them, sniff them out, whatever? What are 3 red flags that will make you walk away from a client or a project almost immediately? Or because I know, sometimes business requires you got to ignore those red flags
Yeah.
to make payment. Um, what are the red flags that when you see them, you're like, man, I wish I could walk away right now? Even sometimes I know you can't, but what are the 3 biggest red flags for you that you've learned over the last 10 years? Yeah, this is a red flag. I should definitely stay away.
So this has always been a red flag, but I've never always been able to walk away from it in the past. But now, thankfully, I'm in a place like business wise. Budget is a massive red flag. If I come in and say, hey, this project's going to be 2,500, and they're like, I've got 300. Now I've been able to say, I'm sorry, like this isn't going to work. But oftentimes I will pair that with, but I know this person that they're really great. They work in that price range. Here they are, because I don't ever just want to be like in a like that might be all that you can have. You still deserve someone, not deserve, but I still want to help you find the right client. So budget is an instant red flag. 2, I will say people that I don't want to say no too much, but they are too picky. Like if they're like, I need it to be shot on this camera and I need it to be shot this way and that way, kind of like you were saying, like I want you to match somebody else's work, like, and they just know enough to be dangerous in the camera industry where they're like, it's got to be shot on a Black Magic. Like I know it's probably maybe not the best client for me.
But that's because you're doing full productions all the way through. You're not
Yes.
just being hired as like a DP.
Yes.
I want to make it very clear because
Yes.
you don't do like DP work
No.
specifically.
No.
Because like as a DP, yeah, you're going to be told, or if you're a camera operator, you're going to be told what camera to use.
100%.
But you're talking about full B2B.
Video production for me is I am the salesperson. I am the shooter. I am the editor. I might hire on a crew of people, but like I'm doing from beginning to end the whole process. So yeah, if I was a DP and they said use an Ari, yeah, gladly I'll use one. But for my business, no. If you're know enough to be dangerous, that isn't an immediate walk away, but it's like, are you going to be the type of picky that like you're going to annoy me to death in post?
Yeah, if they're starting to be picky in pre,
yeah,
you can only imagine what production in post is going to look like.
Yeah.
All right, what's your 3rd red flag?
And then my 3rd red flag is, and this is what's tough because you only catch this on the back end, people that don't honor deadlines. So they're not signing the contract when it's time to, they're not giving the deposit when it's time to give the deposit.
Yeah.
They're arguing you on the nuances of the deal. Like you usually can't pick that up immediately.
Yeah.
You can kind of pick it up when they're late to sign the contract or they're late to send the deposit in. But that's another thing because, bro, I do not want to be chasing you down for payment. If I'm chasing you down for payment, we're probably not working together anymore.
No, I think, you know what? I think I agree with all those red flags. I think for me, my first biggest red flag is the introduction reach out. How you reach out to me sets the tone. And I let probably 40% of introductions, they never make it past the original. Like, I don't even respond to say no thank
Left
you.
on red.
Left on red, bro. Like, I can't tell you how many DMs over the course of however many years I've been on Instagram specifically, like promoting, but like, yo, you shoot videos? Not even responding. What's your rate to shoot a video? Not responding. Hey, I need a short video done. 2 hours max. Not getting a response.
Those are
like
massive red flags.
How you reach out to me, I just like, it's a quick heck yes, heck no.
Yeah.
And I'm, being clean when I say that. But like, that's immediately where my brain goes.
Yeah.
Is I'm like, I read it and I'm like, nope. Like, do I even want to send the follow-up? Like, if I have to send a follow-up to get some information, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that how you reach out is like such a big deal.
Mhm.
Like, cause like, I mean, that, I don't know, like that to me, just like, it just drives me crazy when that happens. So that's my first big red flag. Um, the second one is a fear to talk about budget because I personally believe that like it's my job to not get on projects that are gonna go poorly.
Mhm.
If I get on a job and it goes poorly, it's because I didn't do enough reconnaissance up front to make sure that like this was a project worth going on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like if I get to a point where I have a client who's not paying the final balance, it's probably because he also was like flaky on the deposit. So I should have walked away then.
Yeah.
But if I get to that point and he's being flaky again, it's like, yeah, this is my fault.
Mhm.
But I chose this battle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the second one for me really is someone who's afraid to talk about budget. I have this thing that whenever I get a new client, we do a 30-minute discovery call. Guys, this is a trick for you right here. Sign up for Zoom, but don't pay for it. Jarrell already knows where I'm going. You love this one,
Seriously.
right? Sign up for Zoom, don't pay for it. Here's how it goes. When you sign up for Zoom, you get 45-minute calls and then it turns off automatically. That is a huge benefit because it forces your introductory call to be 45 minutes tops. If it starts to go over, a little timer kicks up. When you start to get to like 10
Zoom
minutes,
will hang up.
Zoom will be like goodbye and hang up on the call. So it forces you to lock down this call shortly. But introductory call, 30 minutes, and I tell them on this call, look, I want 3 things from this call. I want to know your timeline, and that's the entire time. When are we shooting? When do you need it done? The whole time. What's the timeline of this project? What is the scope? What do you want from this project? And what is your budget? If you can't answer those 3 things on the introductory call, there's no reason for us to talk.
Mhm.
Like you got to have a number. You can't hang up the phone and be like, "Oh, let me talk to my blah 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 and get the budget." No, no, no. I need that. I like if we can't like when I send that email, if I can't get those 3 things from you on the call, wait till I can and then let's schedule a call.
Mhm.
And I use like Calendly and I'll be like, "Hey, click this link, sign up for a call with me. It's a 30-minute call. When you have these 3 things ready for the call, let's set it up and let's go."
Mhm.
That is so like someone who's afraid to talk budget is a huge red flag. And so that's how I kind of skirt around that.
Yeah.
First call that we're going to talk about, you better be ready for those 3 things. The first 2 are not that hard for them.
Yeah.
Timeline, they got it. The scope, they'll talk to you for an hour about the scope. Oh, I
Mhm.
have this vision, blah, blah, blah. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to know those 3 things, and you got 30 minutes to tell me those 3 things.
That's good.
Right? So that's sort of my second big red flag.
Mhm.
I think my third red flag is similar to yours when it comes to being like picky, but I don't mind a client who is detail oriented.
Mhm.
I actually prefer it because being detail oriented is not always my strongest suit,
Mm.
right? Like if we're talking about our strengths and weaknesses, being detail oriented isn't always the thing that's like that I always pick up on every little thing. That's why I try to surround myself with a team that can even help in those areas. But what does drive me crazy is someone who is detail oriented about matters that I don't think are important, if that makes sense.
Things that they think are going to move the needle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
And it
hey,
don't.
and like, hey, we're taking headshots. What color shoes should I wear? I don't care. Don't wear shoes.
Ask your wife.
Right.
Ask your husband.
You know what I mean? Like those, and like that's obviously a huge extreme, but like being detail oriented about things that don't necessarily matter for the scope of the production, or they get detail oriented about like they're telling me important details about like the project at large, but they don't actually affect us in like, our production. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're working on copy." And I'm like, "That's great. What does that have to do with our video though?" Nothing? Okay, cool. Let's keep pushing talking about our video.
Yeah.
So I think those are like the 3 biggest red flags. The first 2 are more important to me. How they initially reach out tells you everything you need to know about them.
Mhm.
Secondly, if they're afraid to talk about budget or they're afraid to handle those 3 things that are necessary for that initial call, that is that non-negotiable. Got to
Mhm.
be willing to have those 3 things. And then being overly detail oriented about elements that I'm not going to say they don't matter, but they just like they're not as important. Like they can't see the video project for what the video project is and really focus on the video project. That to me becomes a huge red flag because somebody said it on here. They said their biggest red flag. I want to pull it up. Here it is. I edit projects. That's a great name. Red flag. I'm building a team. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that you're building a team. I don't care what the project, like the grand scheme. If you're hiring me to do the video part of it, let's just do the video part together.
Oh yeah.
To that point, also, it's like an asterisk red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone's like, and if this one does really well, then we'll do.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, that's almost like
so.
That's. I feel like at that point, that's a red flag for they're about to lowball me.
Tell me why almost everybody says that. Like so many people say that, and we have the benefit of being there and knowing that it never happens.
Yes.
It never happens. You ain't, and this will lead to no, it don't.
Yeah,
It could, but it don't.
I have clients that I've had for a long time, and we've done multiple projects together. But every client who tells me that, like literally, I was on a call the other day, and it was a brand for this channel, and they were like, "Oh, we want to do a deal," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine," but like they're like, "Oh, we want to do this, and if that does well, then we'll do this, and if that does well, then," I'm like, "Yo, let's make sure we like each other first."
Yes.